What's up, Marvel Snappers, and welcome to another Deck Tech video. I recently got Super Skrull out of a cache. Not the Series 5 card I was hoping to pull, but at least now it's a card I can explore. I think it's a little awkward. It gains all the ongoing effects from your opponent's side, but that's very reliant on them playing ongoing effects, and otherwise this card is less than optimal. And sometimes those ongoing effects are even negative, such as Lizard, Typhoid Mary, Red Skull. So Super Skrull is a bit of an awkward card, but the shell we're going to try it in today is the Leech deck that got popularized a week ago. The deck's not quite as strong as it was, because people are pretty prepared for its game plan, but one of the best counters for Leech Leader is ongoing effects, where your side gets a better benefit than your opponent. So if you have, say, a blue Marvel, or on turn 5 you play a Devil Dinosaur, it's hard for Leech Leader to catch up. But the Super Skrull actually lets you copy any of those buff effects and has the potential to fill in a gap that this deck is missing. So to combo with the Leech that removes the abilities from all the cards in the opponent's hand, we have the Leader, who as long as you're close enough to a head, can typically swing games for you depending on how the opponent plays and what other synergies they have going on the board. In order to make sure we're ahead going into the final turns, the rest of the deck is just big stats. So we have Sunspot, who can get quite large by soaking up excess energy. Scorpion as an early tempo play that can reduce the power of cards in the opponent's hand. Armor to protect the Sunspot. Lizard, just because it's 5 stats for 2 energy. Thor, because it's 4 stats for 3 energy, and shuffles the Mjolnir into the deck, so it can actually get up to 10 for 3, which is incredible value. Maximus, because it's 7 power for 3, and the opponent drawing cards isn't always a downside. If you have the Leech, you're able to just negate all of the abilities from those drawn cards, and stops your opponent from doing any kind of massive turn 6 play. We have White Queen, who's 6 power for 4 energy, and gives you a copy of the highest cost card in the opponent's hand. This gives you some information about what their turn 6 might be, or it could even give you a turn 6 play if you don't have Leader. We have Arrow, who's just an absolutely fantastic disruption tool and can really mess up your opponent's final turn. And She-Hulk, just as a large curve topper, who if we end up awkwardly spending our energy, that she'll get a discount and we'll be able to sneak that 10 power in a little bit ahead of time. The primary power of this deck is just big stats. Pretty much every card we play is overstatted and lets you get ahead on the board early, and Leech just lets you interrupt the combo the opponent was going for on turn 6. Decks have gotten really greedy, and by shutting down the abilities, you stop them death waving you, you stop them playing a big combo with like a Silver Surfer Mystique on turn 6. Now the heads up play against this is to play some of your combo pieces out early and not plan on saving everything for turn 6, but this deck is still pretty strong into the meta. With that, let's hop into some games. Alright, Washington, DC isn't good for us. We've got nothing with no abilities, and we're playing against a Patriot deck. But we're going to be able to put some pretty big stats on the board. And if they don't play Patriot early, they're going to have a bit of a tough time. Next turn we might actually double Scorpion instead of White Queen. Although we might actually just need the stats. Okay, and their Invisible Woman is probably going to be where they end up hiding their Patriot. Patriot's not very big stats here, so I think it's safe to play White Queen over here. Hopefully she goes to Washington, D.C. No, she goes here. Okay, our hand is bugging out. There we go. I saw the Mjolnir. Okay, so we know they have Ultron, which will probably be what they end up going for. This is pretty funny, so I want to see if this works. We're going to double Super Skrull. Okay, and then we... Ultron Mjolnir, and we're going to put 3 drones here, and we'll have double whatever their Patriot buff is. We'll have 26 here. Okay, let's see. Oh, Ultron's going to copy over here, so we'll actually only get 2 drones. Yeah, the opponent kind of knows what's coming. Yeah, the opponent retreats. That's super funny. Super Skrull actually doing work. We were going to have double whatever Patriot buff they had, and thanks to White Queen, we even had their Ultron to boot. Let's go. Alright, first up is the Raft, which is perfect for Sunspot, since we'll aim to fill this up, and then we can still get extra power in here if necessary. Ooh, and we get a Sentry off the hub. Although, we can't make use of the -8 Void, so it's not going to do a whole lot for us. And we can get Thor into the Raft. Top decking the Mjolnir would be absolutely phenomenal, because that would actually let us fill it up. We get Scorpioned, so this might be a mirror match. Let's take the biggest card in their hand and see what they're up to. Okay, they have a Magneto, and then they're going to either White Queen our She-Hulk leader or Magneto. Okay, their hand's at 7, so we can Maximus safely. They'll likely only play 1 card, and then they'll just draw the card they were going to draw anyways. And we can also get the Lizard down. They might try and shore up the hub, because they might have a leader waiting for us as well. And thankfully, if Grand Central pulls Sentry, the Raft will have it full. We might get leeched, which means it depends what Grand Central ends up pulling. So I don't feel comfortable snapping. Let's try and make sure we have as much power here as possible. And we get another leader. Oh, and they actually arrow. Okay, and they Magneto. And then we leader. That was pretty wild. Okay, well, Magneto will pull their White Queen, which is pretty good for us. Mjolnir will buff up the Thor, and then we can leader for safe measure. Let's see, will order matter at all here? I don't think so. I think we're in the clear here. Maybe this ends up getting super messy, but we have a ton of power. Yeah, and the opponent just retreats. That was an absolute stomping. Let's hop into another one. Alright, Monster Island's pretty good. Maybe we go Sunspot armor into Monster Island. That way we're protected from Killmonger and Shang-Chi. And with a Nova, that's a very real possibility. I'm going to bank on them not Killmongering this turn and get the Thor down so we get Mjolnir in the deck as quick as possible. Okay, yeah, they storm. So this could end up being a Silver Surfer deck. I don't think it's wise to fight over here. They'll play one more card, and then they'll be able to Silver Surfer buff. So there's no way our 8 ends up doing it. Plus then we risk losing our Sunspot. We can absorb 2 with Sunspot this turn, play She-Hulk next turn, and just try and outstat them in these 2 locations. Yeah, okay, the Killmonger comes down this turn. And then they Forge, which probably means a Brood on the horizon. Let's just get the She-Hulk down. And we're just going to try and beat them on raw stats here. Okay, so they can add 6 with Silver Surfer. So we need to get 12 more power into here. And we can get 5 of that 12 just by passing. Okay, they Polaris the armor out. But that's probably okay for us. I think this ends up being enough. If it's Silver Surfer and Patriot, I suppose we lose, but they didn't snap, so let's give this a try. Oh, it's a Juggernaut. But we didn't play anything here, and we're going to put an absolutely massive amount of power here, and we take left and middle. Fantastic. The Polaris actually helped us out by pulling armor out, which gave us more room to work with here. Thank you, Savage Yeti. Let's hop into another one. Okay, first up is Vibranium Mines. With this hand, I'm not sure we want to clog our deck, especially with the Thor. Hopefully X-Mansion is kind to us. Okay, they have a Daredevil. Which means we might have to fear... Ooh, yeah, we might have to fear a Professor X. Let's see how X-Mansion treats us. They morph into our Arrow, and we get an Angel. Well, if they snap, we're out of here. We're probably not winning Asgard either. So let's get White Queen down. Okay, they wave. Yeah, this is not going well for us. If we She-Hulk, we go up to 16. Down to 8. If we top deck the Mjolnir, although now we have a bunch of Vibranium in the deck, they probably... Yeah, I don't think whatever we end up doing here matters. That was a pretty big X-Mansion difference. I guess in hindsight we could have maybe just passed. Made She-Hulk 1, and then Arrow She-Hulk. But we know we have a Hobgoblin coming. Or Professor X here. But if they Professor X X-Mansion, there's a chance Arrow can win for us. And this protects us against Professor X here. Okay, so they Galactus. Okay, so Leader would be the best draw? No, it's Vibranium. Can we beat a Death plus something else? How many are destroyed? 7. So 12 power brings them up to 15 plus what, 6? 21 off a 4-cost card. We can go 7 brings us up to 13, 18, or 17, 18, 19. Unlikely. Ooh, if it's a leader, we do it in this order? Maybe? Viper Titania is not enough, and we end up taking it. That was a pretty weak Galactus follow-up, but I think we were safe against Leader and potentially Death without a big follow-up. Although if it was Death Titania, they'd have an extra 9, so we would have been 1 short, but we managed to take it. Alright, first up is Stark Tower. That'll be a good spot for our Scorpion. Nidavellir is going to be a bit awkward for us. And they go with an Angela. We're going to have a hard time filling up this location. So let's play the Lizard over here and see what Los Diablos ends up destroying. They go with a Nightcrawler and a Sentinel. Okay, and it ends up popping Stark Tower. So we can play out the White Queen. We're not going to fight over Nidavellir since we're going to have a harder time filling that up, especially since they have Sentinels. And we'll be able to leech them on the following turn. Okay, ooh, and they also have a leader. They can play a lot of cards there. Let's actually play the Leecher over here. Ooh, and they go with a Devil Dinosaur. Does Leader end up being enough? We can't play it here, but we're ahead by a good margin here. Let's give it a go. If they play too many cards, the Devil Dinosaur just gets smaller. Oh, okay, ooh, they played around Leader perfectly. I guess they knew we copied it with the White Queen, So had we actually just played the Super Skrull, we had it. And they knew they were ahead with the Devil Dinosaur here. Ooh, that was super heads up. And a good lesson for us. Since the White Queen told them we have leader, even though they didn't know we had our leader, we had theirs. Passing was a way to beat leader, so we could have tried to one-up them and Super Skrulled and taken, or copied the Devil Dinosaur ability. Good to know that there is opportunities for this card. Although I guess any other card would have done it too, but let's hop into another one. Alright, first up is Daily Bugle. So we know they have a Blue Marvel. Let's get the Sunspot down. Probably means it's some kind of zoo-style deck. Yeah, the Ant-Man kind of leads me to think that as well. They probably end up filling Baxter Building. So let's play the Lizard out over here. Oh. Well. That didn't quite work out for us. They're going to go down to 5 cards and draw up to 6. So I'm willing to Maximus here. We also have Blue Marvel to buff up this location as well. Okay, they Bishop. Is this a turn to pass? She-Hulk will cost 2, and then we can play something else? Let's give that a try. The opponent, Mr. Fantastics. Okay, so Super Skrull might actually end up being really insane here if we pull it. Let's go with She-Hulk Scorpion. Come on, Super Skrull. This is the game you were made for. 'Cause this is their Blue Marvel, right? Yeah. No Super Skrull. But Blue Marvel of our own should be pretty good here. Let's lock that in. Maybe could have snapped. Not 100% confident. Because they can probably flood quite a lot of cards. But they're probably not planning on us getting 4 extra power here. Plus we'll soak up 1 with the Sunspot. So we get +5 to 21, down 3 to 18. But that's a big power differential for them to make up. Yeah, Maximus Who is just barely not enough. And Super Skrull was the very next card. Would have copied their Blue Marvel, their Mr. Fantastic, and the Ant-Man. So Super Skrull would have been insane here, but he was 1 card too late. But Daily Bugle giving us the Blue Marvel was enough. I hope you enjoyed the games, got to see the power of this deck. I don't think any one particular card really took over. We more or less just hobbled a strategy together based on whatever combination we had. The Super Skrull didn't come up much, but there was a few opportunities where it could have won, and that one opportunity against Patriot, that was just really funny because we were actually going to out-Patriot the Patriot deck. As always, if you have any questions or feedback for me, make sure to leave those in the comment section below. Don't forget to like and subscribe, and I will see you in the next one.